Good morning. It is Friday morning, 10:18 a.m., April 11th, 2025. My name is Patrick Meisberger, but you guys call me Maestro online. And I wanted to show you how I was able to literally swing SPY call options, buy Tesla, buy Nvidia, and plenty of other stocks in the technology sectors, other industrial sectors. Um, the day before the stock market had the greenest day it's ever had, uh, Trump just was rallying the markets due to his 90-day pause on tariffs. That news came out after I had already entered my position. So people have I got my people in before the move. People have asked me left and right on Instagram, DMs, Facebook, and even in real life in person how I was able to predict that. This video is going to explain that. Right here, it's this was one of the most easiest trades in my opinion that I've ever taken, and it's literally just because of previous supply zones becoming zones of demand now. We're talking about the S&P 500. This is not just some kind of penny stock that just goes whatever direction it wants. It is magnetized to the upside just because it is the S&P 500. Yes, and the reason that the S&P 500 is usually bullish is because people have faith in the American economy. I mean, Donald Trump's in office. Who better do you want in office than Donald Trump to give a real big shake in the markets, a real big discount that can give you the best possible opportunity ever. Somebody told me yesterday that if you traded the same day call options on like the QQQ, I saw some kind of video that you'd make you put $1,000 on the QQQ same days and you held them all day and you'd have $1.2 million at the end of the day 2 days ago. So let me just go 2 days ago. This is the day that I'm talking about. That's SPY though. So if I go on the QQQ, this is the day, right? It's the greenest day that I've ever seen. The range was $52.40 per share on the QQQ there. And that is pretty much not really even a gap up. It actually gapped down and then rallied all day that day. So we're talking about the day of April 9th. Now, huge. Okay. Obviously, guys, one point before I make the analysis happen for you guys right now in this video, at one point I want to make, just because you see stuff on the news like that, just because you see people posting, oh my God, you could have made 50 grand if you put in $10 or whatever the hell they say, like it's all bullshit. I promise you, don't listen to any of those people because that is a once in a lifetime day. Look at all the other days that you would have gotten screwed. If you held same day expiration options way out of the money, sure, on that day you would have made a ton of money, but that's because it worked. Okay. Most days you're gonna vaporize your $1,000 and you guys don't need to flex online. I know you guys don't have $1,000 to burn. I don't want to burn $1,000 either, even after trading for 5 years profitably. I don't want to burn $1,000 and I wouldn't just throw $1,000 on that. So I promise you, once you do have a ton of money, you might throw like a gamble here and there. Hopefully it turns into something, but 99% of the time you're gonna lose 100 days, you put a grand a day, you're gonna get vaporized 100 times. I can almost promise you. If not, I'll buy you literally a $15 fucking steak at McDonald's or something. So anyway, let's figure it out. I want you guys to make money. The way that you would do that and actually make money is all I teach my people is how to swing trade far expiration option contracts or just use shares flat out so that there's no expiration, no theta. So the way that you want to do that is just by buying far out. What I did was I purchased the June, what was it? I purchased the June calls on SPY. I want to see, where are they? Right here. Okay, so this was on the 8th. All right, so let's just look at what day the 8th was. Literally the red day right there. So you have definitive proof right here in this whole area that I said, don't get too crazy out here now, just kind of warning my people because, I felt something was going to happen. I felt nervous during this move. I was not like, oh yeah, we're going up. We're so going up. Who knows? I mean, Trump is dropping the markets out of the skies. It's free fall. But anyway, I told them anyway, I'm going for some new SPY June calls, possible swing. The 530 strike, we filled it at 17.9. And I said, like I say, don't get crazy on these ones. It's looking pretty 50-50 for the last hour of the day. And then I said I was entering more Tesla at 228. Okay. The next day, the next day, my students were able to sell Tesla at 260, 270, that area. And we were able to sell SPY. Let me just show you. Let me just show you the contracts. SPY. Let's go to here and let's go open this bad boy up. And can I look up options SPY? So we're gonna go yeah, that's fine. We can just do that. All right, let me just scroll down. Uh June. So the June SPY calls for 430 strike. They're at 31.84. But I want to see the chart. Let me see the chart here. All no options. Why don't you show me the chart, buddy? Give me the chart. I want my chart. Oh, it's because it's on the side here. There we go. All right, so just yesterday, that option had a low. That option had a low of 15.36. Where'd I get in? I said I filled at 17.9, 17.9. And that means that I spent $1,790 per contract here. And then right here, the contracts went as high as 3,617. So I killed it on that day just by buying those. That is, let's see, 3617 minus my entry, 1790. So if I held that literally until the highest point of the day that the contract was, it would have been 102% return. We reached, I think we reached about 84% return on that before we sold. And so, yeah, there's your SPY calls. We were losing last night, 75%. Oh yeah, here we go, 82%. My bad, not 84. So in between going over. So anyway, I alert this stuff. You can see that I alert this in my group, Maestro Stocks and Real Estate, and I do it before it happens. So now that I showed you the trade, let me show you why the trade. So literally, I do my analysis on the monthly. Great trader once in my life told me that the monthly time frame is just amazing, and so I literally just I do that now. All I do is watch this, the weekly time frame and the daily time frame, kind of flip through those. And so I noticed that this was the high 2022. That was the all-time high. And so I marked it because what happened after that? For some reason, the ETF thought that there was a ceiling there and then dropped down, had a bear market in 2022. I should make a video about this because I don't know why people don't talk about the bear market of 2022. Literally, we bounced off the high of it. So now you can see right there, we bounced off of that. So I thought, is the S&P 500 really going to go below the 2022 all-time high? I thought that that was a very good point of previous resistance on the monthly time frame. So I thought it would be a good area of support on the current in 2025. That's that. Okay. But that doesn't even matter as that does not matter as much as what was happening on all the other stocks. Let's start with Apple, biggest company in the SPY. Let me get rid of the drawings. So I go to Apple. Okay. I just want to identify demand zones. When you had Apple in this demand zone right here, that has literally been bought up in October of 2023, April of 2024, right? Apple doesn't want to go below that. So you're telling me that 2 years later, I can buy, you know how profitable Apple is. 2 years later, I can buy Apple.
Yeah, interesting. Good deals coming up in the market. Stock market.
Yeah. So Apple came down right into that same zone. So you're telling me that you're not going to buy Apple from like 2 years in the future? Like if I told you in 2025 or 2020, if I told you in 2030 you could buy Apple at 2000 prices, yeah, you would probably say hell yeah. So we can't get those because that's just unless there was a zombie apocalypse or nuclear whatever the hell, like to bring all these companies all the way back down to their original valuations back in like 06, 07. like that's just not realistic. So what we can do though is we can get these major dips that bring us within like a 2 year gap rather than a 10 year or 20 year gap, if that makes sense. DM me online if that doesn't make sense. I'd love to explain it to you further. So I'm telling you that you can buy in 2025 April Apple back in 2023 prices. And if you want to take it a step further, I can tell you that you could have bought Apple at the December 2021 all-time highs. And we obviously know it went higher than that. Now it's back to that level. So would you buy the biggest company on earth at 2021 levels, 2023 levels? I think you would if you were smart. So Amazon, another one, so easy. I mean, I've just been trading for 5 years, so I knew that this was a good buy here. Obviously, this one, you can draw the zone like on that giant wick right there. That's one reason, right? You're talking about buying it again back in August of 2024. Great. But more importantly, I liked Amazon because this had made a ascending pattern during this whole time. During 2020 to 2022, Amazon had just been in this like 2 year chop. And so then I saw that it just shot down all the way, right by down here as well. I literally still have the zone from back then, and then flying ever since then. So now you can buy it below that ascending pattern. You're below a bearish pattern from a few years ago. Amen. Hell yeah. I mean, it almost reached the like middle wicks of September 2020. I mean, that was prime time COVID. You're telling me you're not going to buy Amazon there. You're telling me you're not going to think that there's going to be a bounce when Apple and Amazon so far, and I haven't gone over Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, any every stock did this. Every stock did this in the stock market. So you're going to get a market-wide bounce. If the entire stock market does the same exact thing one day, you're most likely going to get it to rubber band back to you like a even like a yo-yo, you drop it, it's going to come back if the whole market does that. So these are not moving individually anymore. This is the whole market. Every stock that's important across the market is doing the exact same thing one day. So you can trust that the market is gonna you can trust that the market is going to rubber band back that one day. That's my best Trump impression that I got for you. But anyway, uh solid, huge bounce. That's long story short for you. And I didn't even know. Apparently, Trump like insider traded it. Everybody's saying that he told us that it was going to bounce and to buy. I didn't even know that. I didn't even see that. I was just paying attention to the charts. So if you need help, if you need help paying attention to charts and actually looking at them and making profitable trades, just shoot me a DM through Instagram.